So that way.
I thought it was always like that.
Oh, we are finally at the end of the questioning of Colin Black. Unbelievably, he did remember some things during the last hour and a half session. He did remember the lack of disciplining of James Thompson, who was terribly fragile.
Fragile, my God.
Oh yeah, so he couldn't be disciplined. The majority of the questioning of the last part was about that. There was some questions about a small number of other items, but I think it was the investigation into Operation Lime and the criminality of James Thompson, which took up most of the session. According to Colin Black, it was the right decision not to discipline James Thompson. He had no regrets about it. He claimed that it didn't constitute a cover-up by in any sense, even though that's exactly what it was.
Define what a cover-up was.
No. Yeah, I mean, other than that, there was very limited questioning about. I'm struggling to think actually of what the other areas. I mean, yeah, his Operation Hearn questioning. Yeah. Oh God, it's Operation Hearn. Well, in Operation Hearn, he claimed he was being flippant, but I mean, essentially, he was just saying, "Oh, was it wrong for them to have sex with people? Oh, right. Oh, I didn't realize." Yeah, I mean, it was contemptible. He said he was being sarcastic. You can't take any of it seriously. He said, "No, you're not taking it seriously. You're not taking my answering to questions of police officers seriously." He was a complete arse, and we all hate him. What did you? I'm joined by Emily Apple and Evelyn Lovers. What did you make of it?
We've been told not to slag off the witnesses and to just talk about how awful they were on these videos, but he was. But about questioning with Hearn, he was like, they came back to it like several times, and he thought they were daft, I think, and then went to great lengths to apologize for that, but explained to David Boy, like, I suppose you know that if people come to you that don't know anything about your work, it's so irritating, and it's so like, like I got really irritated. So it's like, and it's not serious. It's like, what do you have of this? Handwritten notes. You can't take this serious, can you? And he was like really sort of offensive and sort of not taking them serious at all.
No, and it just showed his complete contempt. I mean, he just showed his complete contempt all day for everything and everyone that wasn't Special Branch and what he did. But that response to Hearn, and it's so telling as well, because none of these fuckers, they didn't think that they would ever have to justify what they said in any of these places, and then they have to, and then it's just all like,
but also with Hearn, they thought that would never get out.
No,
exactly, they thought that would be like, okay, so we do like an internal investigation and that's it, and now it comes back to bite them.
Yeah, he kept going back to the fact that he was managing 600 people in Special Branch, which was made him a CEO of a company, and that it was this was a huge amount and really difficult for him to do. I mean, as was pointed out by Bristol KRS on Twitter, I mean that's the size of a fairly medium-sized primary school. The idea that he couldn't possibly have oversight of 600 people. I mean, yeah, farcical.
I mean, did it make any difference anyway? I mean, when you look at the Thompson stuff and the stuff that he had to admit that he had oversight because he was named on the documents, and everything came back to protecting the SDS or protecting Thompson's health because the poor dear was fragile, and but he was very open about that none of but this thing that none of the things that they even said that we were trying to commit, like they were lesser offences than the offences that Thompson committed, that they covered up. And this kind of disconnect between what they were even gaining intelligence on and what they were covering up is massive. And the other thing that just made me want to scream was, talking about this poor, fragile officer's mental health and what he might have done. Black, he was in charge during the time I had my first mental health breakdown from policing that the cops knew about because they fucking seized my diaries. And we talk about, what happened on the streets at that time, the harassment style policing that came out of SDS reporting when it got filtered down to CO11 and the FIT teams, and what they were doing to all of us and our mental health. But somehow James Thompson was fragile and needed protecting, and that there could be no accountability for what he did. And it's just so disgusting.
It is incredibly disgusting and incredibly offensive, and just again shows the contempt for the law that these officers have. The idea that he had the right or the ability, or was in a position of enough power to decide not to protect Thompson from being prosecuted, that somehow it's his decision. I mean, that's not how the law works. No. He was in no position to prevent a disciplinary from taking place. Criminal charges should have been forthcoming once they realised that such serious criminality had happened.
And the issue for him was whether professional standards will find out whether there would be an investigation. They will risk assessing the possibility that it might be investigated, not even that they should refer it. That was seemed like a given.
Yeah, and we shouldn't forget that allowed James Thompson to continue. All other former undercover officers are asked or were pushed into a sort of a desk job or a non-public facing job. We've got pictures of him as one of the close protection people of Blair, and he then went to the Middle East. He was the least fragile person of all.
Yeah, I mean, it was quite a ridiculous situation when he said, "Well, I did demote him. I decreased his vetting." And then when pushed on this, he said, "Well, it wasn't up to me what the vetting he was reduced to was. That was somebody else's decision." And the fact that he had a firearm, whatever vetting he was given, it wasn't enough to stop him having lethal power.
No, and also he said, well, he claimed that firearm never existed.
Oh yeah,
we've seen pictures of it.
Well, when I was referring to a firearm, I was on about the firearm he was issued as a close protection officer. But on that other firearm, the firearm that he had, which he was like, "Oh, we don't know anything about that." That was part of Operation Lime. I mean, I think we've had continuous feigned ignorance from the witness today. He has pretended not to know, and he's gone far too far. We saw it. I mean, I think the most ridiculous one was claiming not to know what came out of the McPherson report, which is insane for a senior police officer. I mean, for God's sake, do you know what I mean? Absolutely ridiculous.
Institutional racism.
But if anybody was forgotten, but the claim that they didn't know what this firearm that he had in a safe deposit box in France was about. I don't know what ever happened to that. I think it was just all signed. It was all just nonsense. It was like, well, Operation Lime was exactly about that. We've seen photographs of the firearm. We know what happened to the firearm, and so do you pathetic man.
And also he was very derogatory towards David Barr. He was sort of, he made him say I asked the questions, you give the answers, because he kept asking questions about documents and about the page before and blah blah blah. So he was very offensive, really, and I don't know. It also ended rather weird because we thought there was going to be then David Barr had kind of decided, well, let's leave my last question. I don't have anything anymore. I think he was very fed up with this.
I think Barr was so fed up. He said to Barr at one point about, "Why are you smiling at me?" And Barr was coming back to him on his pedantry as well, and picking up on things, because he just had contempt. I mean, he even had contempt for Mitting, at least for some of them. When Mitting's asked questions, they kind of demurred a bit. But he just he did not care. He was just going to go after all of them.
Yeah, it's you wonder why he should know that doing this, behaving like this, doesn't give a good picture. It's like
he really didn't give a shit.
He didn't give a shit. He's so arrogant that he just doesn't mind. Is he?
I mean, when he was arguing back with Mitting, I mean, it was in relation to a report that he himself wrote about James Thompson, in which he refers to the fact that he mentions that James Thompson was like continuing relationships with activists in close proximity to his own home, and then further than that he also had inappropriate relationships. And this is a clear sign that inappropriate relationships is a euphemism for sexual relationships, and that seemed very clear to any casual reader of this document. And he denied that was the case to Barr, and then Mitting intervened to go, no, like, this is very clear. It's obviously you're saying that. And Black just kept arguing with Mitting. He said, "I'm sorry, you don't understand." And I mean, we saw something quite similar, I felt, when Robert Hastings was questioned by Barr, where he said, "I'm sorry, I can't make you understand that she hurt me by being hurt." Or I mean, ridiculous statements by him. The sheer level of entitlement and arrogance from him. I mean, I think in a way, I don't really blame Barr for not asking further questions, because we wouldn't have got anything out of him anyway. And I think enough had been done to show the contempt he has for the process, the fact that he's clearly lying on so many topics, clearly being like willfully ignorant, like feigned ignorance about so many topics that, at one point he said, "Oh, I didn't know about the sexual relationships," which Barr pointed out, "Well, that's for the chair to decide." Nicely done.
And also, I know you shouldn't read too much in it, but I keep saying, like, when Mitting interferes, it tells you something. And Mitting's first interference today was before the first coffee break. So, he had made up his mind about this.
I mean, we discussed that one of the earlier videos with Kit Wilson, but I mean, I think we are getting to the point now where it is the norm for an intervention from the chair during the proceedings. And she took that to mean that there was that he holds these managers to a higher standard. But I get the impression that it's much more because the first draft of the final report is already written, and things come up which possibly contradict what Mitting has put in his first draft, and it's a clarification which he's keen to like pin down because he's worked on that.
That's a good one.
And I think that we're liable to see more and more of these interventions as we get to the end, as things come up which possibly contradict things that he's already drafted.
Can I correct you? It's not the final report, but the final report on the SDS.
Yes,
absolutely. It's the second interim report.
Yeah, so Mitting will not be writing the final report.
For him, it's the final report.
Mitting is just writing a report on the SDS. He obviously went after tranche 1. This will be what he does before he leaves. We still have no sign of a replacement chair to do tranche 4, which will be into the National Public Order Intelligence Unit. There are concerns that may never happen. Not widely held, but certainly I believe that is a danger. We've had some comments. One here from Anwin. Did he really claim his answers to Operation Hearn was bants? He really did. He said that their notes were scrawls on the back of a fag packet and that you can't take them seriously. I mean, utterly ridiculous. Someone's here highlighted that thing. That's for the chairman to decide. Yeah, I mean, clearly the best line of Barr of the day. And just one from campaign opposing police surveillance. What an arrogant git, eh? Absolutely. I think we all completely agree on that. I really like. It was pointed out by one of the by somebody, I won't name them, that you can sum up his evidence just by going, and you can all fuck off, which essentially was what was Colin Black's like overriding sort of statement to the inquiry. Everybody watching. We're back tomorrow. We've got Roger Pierce tomorrow. Roger Pierce has appeared before. He appeared to talk about his time as an undercover officer where he infiltrated anarchist groups. He went on to be commander of Special Branch above Colin Black. Above Colin Black.
My God.
Yeah, I know. Quite ridiculous, isn't it? Above Colin Black. He's come up repeatedly. He came up today multiple times. Another comment. Elite cops feel the quality. Yeah, quite. Yes. Not much of that.
Well, talking about arrogance, Pierce
is particularly arrogant. He does give longer answers. I would argue. I mean, that's
hard to be shorter.
Quite.
We got nothing today.
We really got apart from a sense of entitlement.
Oh yeah, apart from a sense of entitlement and that anything goes. There is nothing that is off limits in collecting intelligence or monitoring groups, and
including
how it should be.
Justice campaign of the Lawrences, which everybody has been denying so far, and now we kind of have it. We sort of have. They collected everything on the Lawrences because you'd never know, and it was important to keep an eye on that campaign, which all other officers and managers have denied so far. So that's a win.
Also, he ran informers in groups for up to 20 years.
Yeah,
which
that
very
was a big one.
significant.
So yeah, I think that was a big one, and I think that's the thing with this inquiry is you can have a day where you've just got someone who has so much contempt and arrogance, but despite all that, you get the odd little bits. And I think that omission on the Lawrences, and I think that omission on informers, that we were saying, like, I kept expecting that one to be a breach, but it wasn't. But yeah, having informers for up to 20 years in groups, that you know, that's an admission that I think is
An
really
informer,
key.
of course, is not an infiltrator, is not an undercover officer, is not probably not a police officer.
No, the one thing they're not is police. I mean, it could be anything else. It could be an infiltrator.
And probably,
it could be a grass,
it's on crime, and it's on,
not necessarily. I don't think that follows at all. I mean, this is said earlier, but I'm really not convinced by that. I mean, by the sheer nature, an informer is any form of chiz, any form of human intelligence source, and could be doing anything. I mean, we can't really speculate too much because we literally don't know.
We don't know.
And the other thing that he said earlier as well was that they also got information. They also had private intelligence, which he separated out from chizzes and informers. Which, given we've been looking at or trying to get the inquiry to look at the collusion between corporations and corporate spies and the SDS, and you know, it is, you know, we all know it's incredibly likely, and you know, I'm sure it did happen that, you know, like the likes of Martin Hogbin, who spied on Campaign Against Arms Trade for years, that his intelligence was being filtered through to the SDS. But again, it's the first time, as far as I'm aware, that we've had the submission that they were also getting private intelligence into Special Branch in that way.
I think that's kind of it, really, on Colin Black. We didn't learn a lot.
Good riddance.
Good riddance. Another comment. Thanks for sitting through him for us. Yeah, I mean, we struggle for this. I swear down. Is there anything else?
For the cause.
We have
literally.
to say that tomorrow starts 50 minutes earlier.
Yes. It'll be an early start tomorrow. Please tune in from the broadcast will start at 9:45 I guess. So it's a 9:30 start. So
No, it's a 9:45 start.
So the broadcast starts
Don't
at 10.
confuse
Yes.
people.
Yes. Okay. So the broadcast will start at 10 a.m. Please tune in then. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to everybody who's liked and shared. Really helps the visibility of these things. We'll see you all in the morning. Bye for now.
Bye.